Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
This is Vrinda and
Lali.
Today we're going to go through the Bhagavatam, Chapter 3 of Canto 1. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Let's open the Bhagavatam. What do we see? Krishna is standing in front of me. So let's put our hands together and we're going to say the magic words again. Are you ready?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hey Lali, do you remember what we spoke about last time?
What about how to make the bird in the cage happy?
Oh yes, who is the bird in the cage? What's the bird in the cage? Is it our soul?
So,
Yes, you're right, it's our soul. And the cage is like our body. And we're just trying to make our bodies happy and we're forgetting about our soul. And Sutta Goswami said, whatever you do, do it to please Lord Krishna. This is what makes the soul happy, because it makes Krishna happy. And then I started talking about other things and hearing about other things and remembering other things. And you said, no, we must talk and hear and remember Krishna. I said, yes. You know what? It's reminded me that there was a little boy called Prahlad, a little bit further in the Bhagavatam, and he tells us a secret. He tells us there's 9 special ways that make the soul happy. 9 special ways that make Krishna happy, and that will make our souls happy. He said, firstly, Shravanam, hearing. What do you hear with? Your ears. Where's your ears? Yes, here they are. And then he said, Kirtanam, chanting. We chant with our mouths. Where's your mouth? Here it is. Tap your mouth. And then he said, Vishnu Smaranam, remember Krishna. How do we remember Krishna? With our head. With our heads. Yes, let's tap our heads. Tap, tap, tap. And then he said, Padasevanam, worshipping Krishna's lotus feet. With the, where's your feet? Oh, there they are. Yes, touch your feet. Tickle your toes. Tickle, tickle. And then he said, also, Archanam, worshipping the deity of Krishna. Let's bring our hands out as if we're offering a lovely arti to Krishna. And then he said, Vandanam, offering prayers. That pleases Krishna. Let's bring our hands together as a prayer. Good girl. And then Dasyam, being Krishna's servant. Let's be Krishna's servant and bow our heads. And Sakyam, let's be his friend. Oh, let's give a nice cuddle. And then he also said, do you know what else he said? The last thing was Atma Nivedanam. That's fully
surrender.
Yes, fully surrendering to Krishna. Let's flop our body all the way down to the floor. And you know what, Lali? I just remembered. We could actually turn this into a song so that we can remember all these 9 special things that make Krishna happy. Shall we sing the song? We'll try and do it in Sanskrit and English. Do you think you'll be able to do it?
Mummy?
Yes.
Why don't I do the English now and then you do the Sanskrit?
Okay, let's see. Let's have a try. Okay, these are the 9 special ways that make Krishna really happy. Are you ready? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Parasevanam, Arjunam, Vandanam. Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Can you try, Lali? And wait. Go. Shravanam,
Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Parasevanam, Arjunam, Vandanam. Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam.
Good girl. Let's try it in English now, okay? Shall I try?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try it. Hearing, chanting and remembering the Lord. Hearing, chanting and remembering the Lord. Serving His lotus feet, worship Him and pray to Him. Serve Him, be His friend and fully surrendering. Go! Hearing, chanting and remembering the Lord. Serving His lotus feet, worship Him and pray to Him. Serve Him, be His friend and fully surrendering. Yay! We did it! Give 5! Woohoo! So Lali, as Sutta Goswami was telling the sages that hearing about Krishna and talking about Krishna and remembering Krishna is what makes people happy, what do you think Sutta Goswami decided to start talking about?
Krishna.
Yes, you're right. He started talking about Lord Krishna. So one day he began, in a world far, far away from here. Where are we? Where are we? Can you hear the flute? Who's playing the flute?
Lord Krishna.
Oh yeah, Lord Krishna. We must be in the spiritual world. He did something very spectacular, Lord Krishna did. He expanded himself into another person. This person had 4 arms and he was blue as well. Who was it?
He was none other than Lord Vishnu.
Yes, you're right. Lord Vishnu. This Lord Vishnu was called Mahavishnu. Can you say Mahavishnu?
Mahavishnu.
Yes. Now Mahavishnu was looking around the spiritual world. He wanted somewhere to lie down, so he had a look around. And then he saw something. Can you hear that? Can you hear the waves? What is it?
It's the Karna Ocean.
Yes, you're right. That's the Karna Ocean. So he went onto the Karna Ocean and he lay down, all nice and cozy, lying on the waters. He then half closed his eyes and began to meditate. Now, whilst lying on the Karna Ocean, Mahavishnu saw a tiny, tiny dark cloud in the corner of the spiritual world. Do you know what this cloud was? It was the material sky. And just by looking at it, immediately, he started to make the ingredients for the material world. They were just automatically made, all by themselves, just by him looking at it. All the ingredients that you need to make the material world. And then something even more spectacular happened. I don't know if you can see or hear. Let's just have a listen. What is that? What can you hear, Lali?
Bubbles.
Bubbles! Yeah, I can hear bubbles too. Where is that bubbling noise coming from?
From the Karna Ocean.
It's coming from the Karna Ocean. Let's have a look at the Karna Ocean. Oh, they're coming from somewhere on the Karna Ocean. Isn't that coming from Mahavishnu's body? Is it coming from his skin holes? Can you see that? There's millions and trillions and billions and just so many bubbles. They're all popping up from his body. And then they're all just resting on his body. But you know what's really amazing? These bubbles, these are material universes, so they're material. Does that mean Lord Vishnu becomes material too?
No, he's always spiritual.
Oh, so Lord Vishnu always stays spiritual even though these bubbles are coming from him and they're material and they're resting on his body, so they stay material and Lord Vishnu always stays spiritual.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Wouldn't that be exciting to see in real life? All those universes on the spiritual body of Mahavishnu. You know what Sutta Goswami was saying to the sages? My dear sages, you can see this if you like. It's possible. But you know what you have to do? If you lovingly serve Lord Krishna, if you become his pure devotee, you'll get spiritual eyes and you'll be able to see his spiritual body. And you'll be able to see all these universe bubbles coming out of Lord Vishnu's body. So now, Suta Goswami continued to tell them what was going to happen. Look, Lord Vishnu's thinking, I want to go into each and every one of these bubbles and see what's in there. Shall we go with him? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Hey! What's in these bubbles? It's very quiet in here. There's nothing in here. Lord Vishnu looked around in these bubbles, inside the bubble, and he was thinking, these universes are just filled with darkness and space. Oh, it's very dark in here. Oh, I can't see anything. Can you see anything, Lali? You can't see anything. Oh, I just bumped into you, Lali. Did you just bump into me as well? There's a lot of space, but we just keep bumping into each other. We just keep bumping into each other. And it's just so dark in here. It's just so dark we can't even see each other, and there's just so much space. So Lord Vishnu looked around and he thought, there's no resting place. So do you know what he did? Immediately, he started to fill each of these bubbles, these universe bubbles, halfway with water. And you'll never guess where this water came from. Do you want to take a guess? Where did the water come from?
His skin holes.
Yes. Oh, you guessed right. Yes, it came from his body. It came from his own perspiration. Do you know what perspiration is? It's when you're sweating. When we perspire, when we sweat, it's very smelly and dirty. But Lord Vishnu's perspiration is lovely. And all this is what he used to fill up the bubbles. But he didn't fill it all the way. He only filled it
halfway.
Yes, he just filled it halfway. And he thought, this is a nice place. And then it turned into an ocean. And do you know what that ocean was called?
The Garbhodaka.
Yes, you're right. This one was called the Garbhodaka Ocean. So then that's why this Vishnu was called
the Garbhodaka Ocean.
Yeah, that was
Garbhodaka Vishnu.
Yeah, nearly. That's right. Because he was lying on the Garbhodaka Ocean, he was called Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And when he's lying on the Karana Ocean in the spiritual world, he's called Karanadakashayi Vishnu. But this one in the universe bubbles on the Garbhodaka Ocean was called Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. This is a nice place, thought Lord Vishnu, as he lay down on the waters of the Garbhodaka Ocean. At that very moment, a lotus stem began to sprout from his navel. Lali, can you see that lotus stem? Oh, it's getting higher and higher and higher. It's coming right from his belly button, and the stem is getting longer and longer and longer. And oh wow, there's a beautiful lotus flower growing right at the top. And can you see? The petals are opening. Oh my goodness! Look inside!
Look, there's Lord Brahma.
Is that Lord Brahma? It's a very beautiful personality. How many heads has he got?
4.
He's got 4, yes. Oh my gosh, this is how Lord Brahma was born. He was born in a lotus flower, and it came from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu's belly button. Now, Lord Brahma was given some very magic powers from Lord Vishnu. And then, with those magic powers, he was able to create everything else in that universe bubble. So everything in this material world is created by Lord Brahma through Lord Vishnu's magic powers. Hey Lali, you know when Lord Brahma creates this world, it's not always very nice, because sometimes demons come, and they come especially to disturb the devotees. But do you know what the devotees do?
They put their hand up and they say, Krishna, Krishna, help, help, please.
Yes, that's exactly what they do. They call Krishna, help us, please, please. And then Krishna comes. He either comes himself straight from the spiritual world with his magic flute, or he comes as a different incarnation. Now these incarnations come from the Garbhodakshayi Vishnu. And either it's an expansion of Krishna, an incarnation, or it's somebody, a saintly person, that has Krishna's magic powers. But either way, Krishna's sending them, or he's sending himself, especially to help his devotees. But do you know any incarnations of Krishna?
The 4 Kumaras?
Yes, the 4 Kumaras. Oh, and there was Lord Bull, Varaha.
Narada Muni?
Yeah, and Narayan Rishi.
Kapila?
Yeah, Lord Kapila and Dattatreya.
Yagya?
And King Rishabh. Who else? King
Prithu?
Oh, King Prithu. And the fish, Matsya the fish.
And Kurma?
Yes, Kurma the tortoise. And, I know, Dhanvantari.
And Mohini Murti.
Oh, Mohini Murti. Yeah, you're right. Oh, and the very scary Nishingadev. And who else?
And Vamanadev.
Yeah, he was the dwarf incarnation, wasn't he? And there was Parashuram. And who else?
And Vasudev.
Oh, Vyasadeva. Yes, you're right. He wrote the Bhagavatam, didn't he? Oh, and Lord Ram. We can't forget Lord Ram. Yes, that's Lord Ram. Who built the bridge to Lanka and destroyed the evil demon Ravan. And then there was Lord
Balaram.
Oh yeah, and Lord Krishna, who came straight from the spiritual world.
And Buddha.
Yes.
And Kalki is the last devotee coming, Kali.
Yes, Kalki. He's the last one. He hasn't come yet, but he will be coming, won't he? Later on, at the end of Kali Yuga. Yes, you're right. Wow, that's a lot of incarnations that we can remember. Can you remember any incarnations? So as you can see, Lali, Krishna comes so many times in different forms. You know what? You can't even count how many times he comes. But the Srimad Bhagavatam tells us about some of them. And you know, if we talk about these different forms of Krishna every day in the morning and in the evening and lovingly serve Lord Krishna at the same time, then we'll never be miserable. You see, the trick is to listen very carefully to these stories and ask many questions, just like the sages have. Then we'll start to love him so much that we won't have to take birth in a material body again. Do you know why? Because the Srimad Bhagavatam is an incarnation of Krishna too, and it'll make us spiritual. Hear about Krishna all day long, talk of his love and trickeries, remember him and sing his songs. Pop goes your miseries.
Pop goes your
All day long, talk of his love and trickeries, remember him and sing his songs. Pop goes your miseries.
Pop goes your miseries.
Hear about Krishna all day long, talk of his love and trickeries, remember him and sing his songs. Pop goes your miseries.
Pop goes your miseries.
Yes! Hear about Krishna, talk about him, and miseries will go. Bye-bye, everyone!